Hello, one and all. Welcome back to yet another edition of the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am. You know what this is. You bitch. You beautiful bitch. And maybe you're not so beautiful, you ugly bitch. How are you? You unfortunate looking person? Or you spectacularly handsome or beautiful person on the other side of this audio visual experience? Hopefully you're doing well. I know that I broke my promise. I feel bad about that. I said that I would continue to upload podcasts at a more frequent rate. I did not do that. I got sidetracked. Life happened. Has anyone ever had life happen before where you're doing something or you're trying to accomplish something, then all of a sudden you got other shit to do? That's what happened to me while trying to make time for these podcasts. And I know this is a tale as old as time when you're adulting, as the millennials like to say. When you're adulting, you have to try and make time for eating healthy, for working out, for doing hobbies and setting goals and increasing your savings and all that shit. But at the end of the day, you're broke. You ain't got no money in your fucking savings account. You're fat. You're eating KFC every night for dinner. And you're watching TV as you go to bed. You accomplish nothing. This is the life. This is adulting. You have to try and manage your time. And my time was taken out of my hands, unfortunately. I was dealing with another set of circumstances. I've been dealing with so many circumstances that were out of my control over the past several months. And if you listen to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm speaking of. And this most recent circumstance has to do with my ability to earn a living, my ability to make money so that I don't live outside with the animals and the homeless. Although I was once homeless, that's a story for another time. My job closed their doors. Well, not closed their doors. They were taken over by the parent company. I am about to burp. Excuse me. I've switched from White Claw to Truly to now I'm doing these Bud Light hard seltzers. And I just saw a commercial, and in the store, Corona seltzers. No, not Corona. Coors has seltzers now. Well, Corona has them too. Everybody's getting on a seltzers train. Like, beers are probably going to go extinct. Well, no, not really. They're still rural America. And I was a beer drinker myself. I probably still won't turn down a Modelo. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the 9 to 5 shit. So my job, they were no longer going to operate as they were operating. So they laid off a bunch of people, and, you know, they did it on a conference call, and I sat there and I listened. And the moment the conference call was over, I didn't feel anything because I'm so used to moving around and jumping around. The initial thought that came into my mind was, okay, on to the next. What's next? So I was transitioning from one position to another, one company to another, two very, very different fields of work. And that has kind of been the reason that I wasn't able to make time for these podcasts. So I'm not somebody that has a donut in his hand with a fucking fridge full of food that can be cooked, but eating a donut burger. I'm eating a donut burger when I have chicken in there that can be boiled or broiled or baked, saying that I don't have time to eat healthy. I got this fucking donut burger. No, I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those people that gets off of work at 5 o'clock, makes it home at 5:15, and then immediately turns on the TV, cracks open a can, and then just starts drinking with your fucking pot belly and saying, I don't have time to work out. And for the next 6 hours, you're sitting there staring at motherfucking My 600-Pound Life. Oh, the irony. No, I legitimately could not make time. And when I did get off and I was released of my duties at my new position, I needed time to digest the information, although I will say this is probably the easiest job I've had in my entire life. It's pretty easy. I'm stealing money. Hopefully this will become my job at some point if enough people decide that they like the sound of my voice. And I will strictly make this a audio podcast at some point. Well, not strictly. It'll be both. If you like seeing me, I don't know why. I don't know why you would like seeing me. But if you do, the videos will still be available. But I am working to make this audio version as well, because I know that that's basically the purpose of podcasting, right? You want it to be available on other platforms where you don't have to look at a video. So I'm working on that. In the meantime, I would like to tell you about transitioning. And no, I don't mean cutting off your little winky, your little pee-pee, your little wee-wee, your fun parts. I don't mean that sort of transitioning. I mean transitioning to a new place, whether it be a new neighborhood, a new city, a new state, a new town, a new job, a new school, whatever it is. In transition from one place to another, you are going to encounter new people. And when you encounter these new people, you have opinions about these new people. And you compare them to the people that you once knew from the previous state that you were in. Whether it's transitioning from one job to another, one school to another, blase, blase, blase. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Right. So, when transitioning, you hope that you encounter people not similar to the people that you left behind, just similar to you in enough ways where you can be cordial or get along with them, or maybe even make some friends, right? Something that I've learned about people in general, transitioning or not, but you notice it mostly when you're transitioning from one place to another in your life. You notice it, or at least I noticed it. And maybe you did too. Maybe you did. But a large majority of people are fucking uninteresting. They're uninteresting as fuck. They're like copies of other people, if that makes any sense. They're uninteresting. They say the same things, pretty much. The same cliche small talk shit. And they're not funny. They're uninteresting, cookie cutout, not funny people. And that got me to thinking, this is why people need to be entertained, because they don't know how to fucking entertain themselves. They're not entertaining. Maybe they can entertain the other uninteresting people. Maybe that's what they do. They just get around in their uninteresting ass circle and talk about fucking, I don't know, oats or some shit, rice. They said, I don't know why I said that. It was just most uninteresting foods I could think of. They sit around and talk about, I don't know, plain white bread and how delicious it is to eat, you know. I don't know what the fuck they do around each other. It's so strange to me that people have no desire to be more thoughtful, be more entertaining, be more interesting. As much as we like to say in society that everyone's an individual and everyone is different, and that's a bunch of bullshit. A lot of people are the same. There's somebody out there like me right now, but that motherfucker's crazy, because I'm fucking crazy. And that's unique. We're unique people. So that person out there that's like me, applaud yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back, because you one crazy motherfucker. But for the other 98% of motherfuckers, y'all some uninteresting ass people. This is why you have to follow celebrities. This is why people make it big on YouTube doing stupid and crazy shit. This is why people sit in front of their televisions for hours on end, or sit in front of the television playing a video game for hours on end, because they're not interesting themselves. They don't have anything to do with themselves. They don't have anything to do. They don't have anything to entertain themselves. They have no original fucking ideas. It's so strange to me. It's so strange. Like, I come up with 1,000,000 original ideas a day. You know? I came up with an idea about being an alien detective. What does that mean? I don't know. But I had a dream about it. I had a dream I was in space as a detective trying to find fugitive aliens. Now watch somebody make a motherfucking novel about that before I get a chance to, because that's what always happens. But that's neither here nor there, because I'm very upset about that. And I'm very upset at the fact that my hands are rusty. But there is a scarcity right now of free thinkers. There's a scarcity of creative and truly individual people, I believe. And I have moved a lot. I counted with one of my previous coworkers, because they were curious on what my new position was and where I was moving and all that bullshit. And they were asking, you know, how many times have you moved? I have moved over 24 times in my entire life. Moved residences over 24 times. So I'm not just saying this statement based on my most recent experience in having to transition into this new job position. I'm saying this based over years and years of accumulative. Jesus, some days I just can't speak English. Accumulative evidence that a lot of people are the same, and they're uninteresting as fuck, and they're unfunny as fuck, and they make you want to blow your brains out by having to pretend to like them. Or maybe you're like me and you don't even pretend to like them, and you just carry on with your fucking business. You know, you just carry on. See, there's a difference, right? There's a difference between people who are honest with themselves. With this dog, shut the fuck up. Can you not This dog does not understand that I am trying to do something right now. I am in the middle of something very important. And the owners are very bad for leaving their dog outside right now because it's snowing. They leave their dog out in the yard and it's snowing. Gives you, you know, a look into the type of people I live next to. These motherfuckers. They some uninteresting motherfuckers too. They probably leave the dog outside so they can go in the house and do all their uninteresting ass shit. You know? Anyway. There's a difference between people, is what I think I was saying. Yeah, like people who are honest and self-reflective, and people that just kind of go with the flow of things. And I'm not saying that you're going with the flow of life is a bad thing. It's like your dad ejaculated into your mom. Your mom carried you and gave birth to you. You went to school, you went to college, and you graduated, and you went to the workforce, and you just living. Like, you just out here living. You existing. You know, you just one of them motherfuckers. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You just not interesting. This is why people go to stand-up comedy shows, because they need interesting injected into their lives, because their lives are just, they're just fucking lampshades. They are lampshades of humanity. And a lot of people like to think they're interesting. Like people that watch anime. Just because you watch anime doesn't make you interesting. Or people that like pickles. Or people that think they're quirky. You know how many quirky people there are out there? You know how many quirky people I've had conversations with? You're not interesting. There's a lot of people like you. There's a lot of people like you. You're gonna say some weird shit, and you're gonna laugh, and you're gonna get other weird motherfuckers to laugh with you, with your uninteresting ass, and you're gonna go home, take a shower, put your fucking robe on, pet your cat, sit down, watch the motherfucking Real Housewives of wherever the fuck, a cave, I don't know. You're not interesting. You're just another version of an uninteresting ass person. So there's people that understand that. And I think it's a skill, honestly. I think it's a skill to be self-aware. Being self-aware is kind of a skill, right? It's like, you know your flaws and you know your strengths. You know what you're good at. You know what you're bad at. Every day you're evaluating. You don't really seek approval from other people because you already know who you are and what you want out of life. That's a skill. Not everyone has that. Everyone is still not everyone. A lot of people are still kind of in this in-between space where they're still kind of trying to figure out who they are, trying to figure out who they are as they grow. And we're all still growing. So knowing yourself entirely and completely is an impossible thing to do, because who I am today is definitely not who I'm going to be 10, 20 years from now. But I definitely know who I am today, and I definitely know what I want to do tomorrow, as in directly tomorrow. And there's strength in that, because you don't give a fuck what anybody says about you. You don't give a fuck what anyone does around you. People can talk shit about you all they want, but they do that as a sign of weakness. It's weakness, and it is them applying their own insecurities to you, because they don't know who the fuck they are. So they surround themselves by more uninteresting ass people and apply those uninteresting as characteristics upon you. Why don't you talk to me about casseroles? Why don't you talk to me about, I don't know, fucking magazines? Does anybody even still read magazines? I don't know. But being self-aware is probably one of the biggest things that you can obtain as a human being on this planet. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want, not allowing anyone to disrupt that or bother that or even give them the power to upset you. If you reach that level, if you obtain that level of self-awareness and self-assuredness, you'll be at peace. But that's much easier said than done, because a lot of motherfuckers out here got problems. Shit, I got problems. I got big problems. Big problems. Most of them in my head, from the people that I've created in my head. There's a lot of people living in my head. But that doesn't mean I'm not self-aware. I'm very self-aware. And I encourage you all to be self-aware as well. And I also encourage you to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. Follow me. Follow me, follow my life. Don't follow my life. Please, don't follow my life. But follow this podcast. Listen to this podcast. If you're bored at work, if you're bored at home, if you're one of those uninteresting ass motherfuckers that just need something to listen to me. I'm interesting. I just insulted you, but I'm interesting though. I have interesting stories to tell. Don't you want to hear them? any fuck. So yeah, man, just be self-aware, and there's nothing anyone can fucking do to you. You look at yourself in the mirror and you understand, my skin's not perfect. My hair's not perfect. I can't grow a full beard, which is true for me. I cannot. I may have some man tits, or if you're a woman, I may have long titties, or I may have no titties. I may got a little bit of blubber, stretch marks. But guess what? I recognize all of this, and I love myself. I still love myself. And if I want to work on something, as far as my physical appearance is concerned, I'll work on it. If I don't work on it, I am aware that I am choosing not to work on it, and I'm living with my fatness. Moving on now. I'm going to leave you with this, because I was thinking about something that is becoming commonplace, and it might get me in some trouble. It might not. I don't care. I'm going to speak it anyway, because I always say what's on my mind, and I speak my truth. It's my truth. My truth for a certain thing that's become popular in popular culture, in the media that we consume. Uninteresting folks, holla at me. It's the perception that a frail female can easily dispose of a full-grown man. Now, hold on. I know you are probably thinking you're heading down a really sexist path here. I'm not. I'm talking about physics, science and shit, biology and shit. Because quite frankly, men are biologically engineered from birth to carry more mass and to be more physical. So I was watching this show called Designated Survivor, and I was into it for a little bit. Don't know why. Maybe I was bored. Definitely bored. Because the show is very mediocre, but it raised some interesting questions, so I decided to give it a lookie. And when I was looking at it, there's this person who is a woman who's very skinny, very, very skinny. She couldn't be more than 85 pounds. 85 pounds. I am not exaggerating. Soaking wet with fucking clothes on. Very thin lady. Right? And in the show, she's supposed to be portrayed as a badass. Okay. I can get behind that. Now, is she good with guns? Is she good with knives? No. She physically beats the fuck out of everybody. Like, she could just stomp you, bro. She could just stomp you. 5'4", 100 and not even 100. 85 pounds. She could stomp you, bro. I watched mixed martial arts, okay? I know what a trained fighter looks like, male and female. Amanda Nunes can beat the shit out of 90% of dudes walking the earth. Same goes for Valentina Shevchenko. Same goes for Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Same goes for Weili Zhang. Fuck. Same goes for the karate hottie, Waterson. Fuck is her first name? Michelle Waterson. She could beat the fuck out of you. She will beat your ass, bro. You don't stand a fucking chance. But guess what? Guess what? Those are rare people. 99% of women cannot beat the fuck out of a grown ass, especially trained male. It's not physically possible. The new pop culture thing is to portray frail, model-esque women beating the fuck out of these 200-pound, 6'4", 6'5", jacked men with little effort. And I hate to laugh, but it's fucking comedy. That's comedy gold. Where does this happen? In zero gravity? Like, what? Bitch, we live in reality. Physics would not allow this. You cannot, as a skinny 85-pound woman, throw a left hook at a 6'3", 225-pound, jacked, athletic, capable dude. Just throw a left hook, wham, whap, and he instantly gets knocked out. First of all, you might not even reach his face, so have to scoot down a little bit. He might have to crouch for you to even reach his face. Body slamming him, doing judo moves. Bitch was doing judo moves with not a fucking ounce of muscle on this person. Please wake up, folks. I don't know why they pushing this narrative. Do they want people to get their ass whooped? I do not advocate domestic violence. But they are pushing this narrative to where they gonna get a lot of motherfuckers beat up because they watching these Batwomans and fucking designated survivors and all these fucking girl power shows and movies. It's all good. I don't mind it if it's realistic. I mean, if it's a superhero movie, go ahead, do your thing, because you're dealing with superpowers and magic shit, by all means. But if you're dealing with just an average looking person in a fist fight, you're asking for trouble. And this is coming from someone who was a huge Angelina Jolie fan growing up. You would know this if you listen to the podcast. Huge Angelina Jolie fan. She used to beat the fuck out of everybody. But the thing was, she also used to get her ass beat too. So it made it look believable. Like she wasn't just going out there judo flipping motherfuckers. She wasn't hip tossing people. She wasn't putting people in a fucking fireman's carry, throwing them down a set of stairs or something. It looked like a struggle. It was more believable, and even more believable according to Hollywood standards. It was still kind of pushing it. But that shit made me laugh. It tickled me, and it also made me stop watching the show at the same time. I was like, I can't get behind this shit. I'd see if she was good with knives or guns, and she just fucked them up, threw a bunch of knives in their face or shot them a whole bunch of times. But in hand-to-hand combat, it ain't happening. I have yet to see it happen. Like I said, Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko, she could beat the fuck out of 99% of dudes walking the earth. But 99% of women, they ain't Valentina Shevchenko. Speaking of, I got to talk about UFC next podcast. Love that shit. Connor's coming back. We just had a massive event with Max Holloway beating the fuck out of Calvin Kattar. Shout out to Calvin Kattar for showing the heart, taking all those punches in the face like you did. Dude, my God. Savages. Yeah, savages. Shout out to Yoel Romero. All right, guys. Hopefully your week goes good. Hopefully your weekend goes good if I don't hear from you, or if I don't speak to you, I should say. How the fuck can I hear from you? Maybe if you commented, you fucking cunts. Comment. I love you. Bye.